Hello, Happy New Year everybody. I just wanted to do a video about my journey. I know I've done one before, but as it's New Year, I just wanted to explain a little bit about my journey, the things I've learned along the way. I've been doing this now for 4.5 years, over 4.5 years. At my biggest, I've only got a few before pictures. Literally, this is my work picture for my ID badge. So that's the only face one I've got. I used to avoid any social gatherings, so there literally are no pictures. So this is at my biggest. I was 31 stone 1 pound, so that's 435 pounds at my biggest. I did take these before shots. Literally, these are the only ones that I've got. After that, it was about 7 months before I took another picture. But these are my befores. I weighed in at 31 stone 1, so that's 435 pounds. I'm currently a little bit over my goal weight. My goal weight is 13 stone. That is purely because I have got excess skin, and I knew that was going to be the case, so my GP signed me off quite high. I do like to get under that. I do like to go down to 12 stone if I can, but it's not that easy. Maintaining isn't that easy. And my body seems to like 12 stone 7, so I tend to hover around there most of the time, unless Christmas has just happened and I've gained a lot of weight, which is where I am at the moment, but that's a whole nother story. When it comes to weight loss and when it comes to diets and lifestyle changes, I have literally tried them all over the years. At the age of 36, I weighed in at like I said, 435 pounds. I was hugely overweight. I was clinically morbidly obese, whatever you'd like to call it. I struggled to walk. I would turn up to meetings early so that people wouldn't know how breathless I was, so that I could get a chair that I could sit in. If I went to the shops, I'd go first thing in the morning before it got busy, so nobody saw me. Literally my life revolved around how big I was and me trying to avoid people and situations that I didn't want to put myself into because I was anxious about it. So at the age of 36, I decided again that I was going to try and lose some weight. Now I've tried loads, absolutely loads. When I started, a lot of people were doing Slimming World. A friend of mine said, do you want to do it? She didn't want to go to class. I don't want to go to class. I still had books hanging around, so I just went, yep, let's start it. I actually started it on a Thursday. I have no idea why I started it on a Thursday. It was the 23rd of April 2015. It was a Thursday, and the night before I sat down with my partner and went, oh, I'm going to try Slimming World again. He sat me down and just said, this time has got to be different. Not the fact that I want to lose weight, that wasn't the issue. He's never had a problem with my weight. Obviously he was concerned that I might die early, but my actual weight he's never had an issue with. He just sat me down and said that if you choose to eat food, that's your problem. It's all on you. Don't blame other people for it. I did have a tendency to blame everybody else for me eating. If I'd had a bad day, if I was an emotional eater, I still am an emotional eater, but it's if I'd had a bad day, if I was upset, if I was angry, if I was bored, if I was tired, it was easy for me to get a takeaway. It was easy for me to grab something on the way home. And it was also easy for me to blame somebody else for doing it. So it was his fault because he'd suggested it. I didn't have to take him up on that offer. I can say no. The same with people at work that want to go and have something from the calf or who go to the shop. It's still my choice. Everything that I put in my body is my decision and my choice. And stupid as it sounds, it never occurred to me before. It was just easier to blame other people. That was my light bulb moment. At that point I just thought, I don't want to be this big anymore. I want to be able to get around easily. I don't want to have to worry about where I'm going to sit. I don't want to have to do that anymore. So it was my light bulb moment specifically was that I need to stop blaming everybody else for me and my choices, and I need to take some responsibility. At that point I started doing Slimming World. I did it on my own. I did it for 8 months and I lost 104 pounds. I lost 7 stone 6 pounds with Slimming World. In January 2016, everything was getting a bit samey. When I did Slimming World, I chose to cut all rubbish out of my diet. That was my choice. I needed to abstain from everything that I'd been eating before. I have a tendency to hoard food. I have various food issues and I have a tendency to hoard a lot of food. Christmas has been a nightmare for me. I have hugely slipped back into old ways when it comes to bad food. I've got 2 bags full of rubbish still in the house. I have no intention of eating it at the moment, but I know it's there and it's in the back of my head, so I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with it. I need to decide if I'm going to take it to work or give it to certain people. That's something that I need to do, but I have always food hoarded. I still do it now with healthier food to a certain extent, but I decided that I was going to cut all rubbish out of my diet when I first started, and I did. I literally used my Slimming World sins on cheese and extra cheese and mayonnaise. Had the occasional slice of white bread, had things like that, but it was literally I cut straight back and I just used all the free foods with Slimming World. Obviously, by the time 8 months came around, everything was getting a little bit samey where Slimming World was concerned. My meals were the same. I was struggling when I was out and about. I work in the community, so I was really struggling to grab something if I'd forgotten my lunch or I hadn't had time. If I was going out for meals, because obviously I'd started to lose weight, so I got a little bit more confidence, so I was going out for meals and it was literally chicken or steak, jacket potato and salad. Because I'd limited myself so much, that was my choice. And Slimming World had served its purpose for me. I had changed all of my habits. Weight loss for me and my journey was about changing my habits, and in those 8 months I totally changed all of my habits, from what I ate before to what I ate afterwards. I was eating 3 meals a day and I was snacking on fruit and I was snacking on meat. Ham, I'd have ham in the fridge, chicken in the fridge, and that's what I'd snack on. So it did totally change my habits, and for that I'm eternally grateful to Slimming World for. If you like to feel full and you like to feel satisfied, it's Slimming World all the way for me where that's concerned. But by that point I needed to learn portion control. I wanted to go out and about. I wanted to eat what I wanted when I was out and not feel guilty about it. My problem before, and any diet I've ever done before, is the guilt factor. Once I've had something that I think is bad or naughty, it then leads me on to something else. So I thought I'd give Weight Watchers, or as it's called now, it was called Weight Watchers at the time, WW, and it was the best decision I've ever made. Slimming World taught me all those habits. It got me into good routines, but with WW I can literally eat whatever I want as long as I've got the points for it. I can go out and have a meal and not feel guilty about it, which is where I always come a cropper and where I've always gone wrong before. If I've had something that I deem, and that's me personally, deem to be naughty, that just normally sends me straight off track. I can now have a McDonald's breakfast in the morning and still eat fine for the rest of the day and still lose weight at the end of the week. In the first week, I think I lost 6 or 7 pounds in the first week. I was on a lot of points. I was still, I think I was around 23 stone when I switched over to WW, 23, 24 stone. So I still had an awful lot of points. So the first week I'd had a McDonald's breakfast, I'd started to introduce chocolate bars, the odd chocolate bar, a packet of crisps. didn't feel any guilt associated with that whatsoever, because it was in my points budget. The first time I stood on the scales, bearing in mind that I'd been on Slimming World for 8 months before that, I didn't have a break in between. I went straight from Slimming World to Weight Watchers, and I still lost 6 or 7 pounds in my first week. So obviously my body needed a bit of a kick, and WW gave it that. Over the next couple of years, it took me 3 years to get to goal. Over the next 2 and a bit years, I then lost the remainder of my weight, and I got down to my goal weight of 13 stone in April 2018. I've now been maintaining for 20 months, and it literally is the best decision that I've ever made. Learning good, like I said, learning good habits, learning that about myself and the reasons why I eat the things I eat, I do the things I do, is important. It's not easy. It's not easy by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a learning curve. My whole weight loss journey has been a learning curve. It's been learning about myself, my habits, the reasons that I do things, and my confidence has grown hugely. I would never ever in a million years have put a YouTube channel up, even just after getting to goal. It wouldn't have happened. My confidence has grown hugely. To me, it's just about letting people know that if you are morbidly or clinically obese, that you can change. You can change your lifestyle, and you can make your life better. Sorry about that. I'm not normally that emotional, but being that overweight isn't easy, and it's definitely not easy losing that, but it is possible. It definitely is possible. It's just about changing your habits and your routines, and I've been maintaining now for 20 months. So if I can do that at the size that I was, it doesn't matter how much you've got to lose, anybody can do it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to anyone that subscribed to my channel. I really didn't think anyone would watch my videos, but thank you so much if you have. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you.